Football is a physical game filled with high speed, violent collisions being committed at the highest level by the best athletes in their sport. It's a very select few that make it to that level. Of all the people that play football in the world, very few make it to that level. Tonight, about 6 hours ago on Monday Night Football, in a very high stakes game between the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, a young man, 24 years of age, Hamlin, Bills safety, defensive player, what looked like a routine tackle, the opposition, the Bengals player was coming at him, hit him in the chest as he tackled him. He got up after making the tackle and immediately collapsed. It's all over the internet. It's happened 6 hours ago, as we all know by now. It was a very sad scene on the field. At this moment, essentially early Tuesday morning, he's in critical condition in a hospital in Cincinnati, and nobody knows what his fate is going to be. It's touch and go. His family, his friends, the entire sports world, especially the NFL world, are on edge, and the outcome of the season is of no concern to anybody at this very moment, especially anybody who cares about that young man and his life and his future. But as we know, none of us would know about any of this. None of this would have happened if the NFL wasn't such a lucrative business. It has television contracts, you name it. There's a lot of money that revolves around professional football, the NFL, and these games that are televised, Monday night games. These two teams are two of the top teams in the division, the AFC, and this particular game had what would be high stakes in the realm of standings and what's going to happen in the playoffs. Now that this young man's life hangs in the balance, no one's really concerned about that, but the reality is there are people that are concerned about that, because what's going to happen? Hopefully, this young man recovers and is able to live out his life, and this isn't what brought him to his demise. But if the unthinkable should happen and he does pass away, are his teammates on the Buffalo Bills going to want to play the remainder of the season? Are they going to want to play in his honor? How are they going to feel about playing the game this soon after? Even if he does survive, are they going to be in the right headspace to put their bodies on the line, knowing that something so unthinkable could happen? It wasn't a hit to the head. It wasn't a helmet to helmet or someone launching themselves like a missile. It wasn't a concussion. It was a hit to the chest. And that such a rare occurrence that happened. I watched a video on it. I'll put the link to this doctor's video describing what happened to him in the description, and you'll have a better idea. It was basically just, I don't want to say perfectly timed, but the timing has to be so perfect to get hit in the chest that way that it causes a heart attack. So that's what happened to so the NFL, they postponed the game, rightfully so. No one was going to go out and play football tonight. But are they going to want to play football Thursday night? Are they going to want to play Saturday night? Are they going to want to play on Sunday? I mean, they canceled this game in honor of the severity of the potential consequences of what happened. I mean, his life hangs in the balance, right? But are they going to cancel the season? They're not going to cancel the season, right? There's too much money to be lost. So much money revolves around these things. And there's even a sub-story to this now. I mean, Skip Bayless is catching all kinds of heat for a tweet that he put out. I'm sure you've heard about that by now. You could check into that tweet, read into it, and comprehend it however you want to see it. I don't think that he was saying, personally, I don't think he was saying that the game was more important than the young man's life. But I think as someone who's been covering sports his whole life, he was probably putting his mind state toward the ownership and the league And the brand of the NFL mind state is in such that, like, the show must go on. And we know that these people's lives are much more important than any game. And this is just a reminder that life is more important than any form of entertainment that we have out there, because you can see that people are outraged at a tweet like that. And if you look at it in a certain way, it could be very outrageous to think that he might suggest that the importance of the game is more important than the young man's life. But I don't think that's what he was saying. But look into the tweet yourself, figure that out for yourself. I'm not here to defend or interpret anybody's thoughts for you. What I think is that the NFL will go on. This is the beginning of Week 18. Tonight's game would have been the first game in the final week of this NFL regular season. And the playoffs are about to begin. And unless the NFL just cancels the rest of the season, anything beyond that is just going to be hypocritical as far as the importance of the brand, the game, the money-making machine over one young man's life. And it's tough. People are having a hard time. Reality is hitting people in the face. 1 minute you're drinking a beer, you're having fun playing a game, getting paid, sure, the stakes are high as far as the game world is concerned, but then next thing you know, someone's injured in a way that you've never even witnessed before. He didn't break a leg, he didn't injure his neck, he didn't get a concussion, didn't break his ribs, no, just a heart attack from a hit to the chest. I'm no expert. I just call it how I see it, and I see it that the NFL is going to have a hard time figuring out how to go forward, depending on the very, very real world and severe consequences of whether this young man lives or not. How do they proceed forward? What type of safety precautions will be put in place? Will it change any rules? Will they postpone the postseason? I mean, will this team somehow be affected in its ability to play in this season going forward, the playoffs that they worked so hard to earn their way into? I mean, there's a lot going on. I'm no expert. I just call it how I see it, and I just see that there's a lot of major decisions that need to be made by the league, in the whole entirety of all the working parts that make up that machine that is professional football, National Football League. 1 minute you're playing a game, next you're in critical condition. Life is fragile. Much love, much respect. UNO.